Have you ever glanced up at your roof and seen a plumber up there? Maybe fiddling with a pipe. It's definitely one of those sites that makes you pause.
Yeah, it certainly makes you wonder, what on earth are they doing way up there?
Exactly. Well, that's actually what we're digging into today. We're going to explore why plumbers sometimes need rooftop access to your plumbing system. We've looked into some info that really explains this kind of surprising practice.
And our goal here really is for you to get why it happens, maybe understand some of the, limitations.
Right.
And maybe even figure out how you could potentially avoid it happening at your place. Could save some hassle, maybe some money down the line.
Okay, let's start with the basics. Think about like a bottle of soda. If you just turn it upside down, it sort of glugs out, right? But if you let air in...
yeah, it pours smoothly.
Exactly. Your plumbing needs that same kind of airflow to drain properly.
That's a great analogy. Your whole system relies on it. And that airflow comes through the drain vent, usually that pipe sticking out of your roof.
It lets the nasty sewer gases out, which is important.
Right.
But just as crucial, it lets air in. That prevents a vacuum from forming, so water flows away like it should.
So, okay, the vent's on the roof. Let's air in, gas out. Got it. But why would a plumber need to physically go up there to fix, say, a clog downstairs? It seems counterintuitive.
Well, it often boils down to access. Sometimes, believe it or not, that roof vent becomes the most direct, or maybe the only way, to get to a blockage in the main drain line.
The only way? How come?
Well, think about older houses, maybe. They might not have a cleanout access point in the basement.
Okay, yeah, I've seen those little capped pipes.
Right. Or maybe there isn't one in the yard either, like a ground level access point. And sometimes the clog itself might be high up in that vertical vent stack.
So near the roof anyway.
Exactly. Or it could be stuck in the main line between floors. So if you don't have those easier access points down low...
Then up you go. Then up the plumber goes. The roof vent becomes the kind of go-to spot to feed a cable down, a drain snake and try to break up that blockage.
Right, okay. So accessing from the top makes a certain kind of practical sense if other options aren't there. But it still feels tricky. What are the downsides? The limitations? I mean, imagine it starts raining heavily.
That's a huge one right there. Weather? You simply can't have someone safely working on a potentially steep, slippery roof in bad weather, rain, snow, ice.
Yeah.
It's just too dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And then there's the equipment. You're limited in what you can realistically and safely get up onto a roof. You're not hauling heavy-duty machines up a ladder.
Right. Forget about bringing up the big hydrojetting gear or something.
Exactly. Plus, working from the top down, it can be harder to do a really thorough cleaning. Or even get a good look with a camera to see what the real problem is down below.
So I might just poke a hole through the clog, maybe? Not fully clear.
That can happen. It often provides, let's say, temporary relief. It gets things flowing again for a bit. But it's generally not seen as the ideal long-term fix compared to cleaning from a proper access point.
Okay, so if going up on the roof is kind of a last resort with drawbacks, what's the better way? How do you avoid those rooftop adventures in the future?
Well, the most straightforward solution usually is installing a proper cleanout access point at ground level.
Adding one if you don't have one.
Precisely. Putting one in the yard or maybe ensuring there's good access in the basement if possible. It just gives direct, easy access to that main line.
And what are the benefits of having that for, the homeowner?
Oh, huge benefits. It makes pretty much all future maintenance easier and more effective. You can easily run cables.
Right.
You can get cameras down there for a proper inspection, find out exactly what's wrong, where it is.
The condition of the pipe?
Yeah. And importantly, it allows for things like hydro flushing or hydrojetting using high pressure water to really scour the pipe clean.
Right.
Much more thorough. So overall, it just supports better long-term care of your whole drainage system.
So it sounds like spending a bit to get a proper ground level cleanout installed could actually end up saving you money over time.
Absolutely. You avoid the potential extra time, difficulty, and maybe even repeat visits associated with roof access. Easier access usually means quicker, more effective service calls.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's sort of wrap this up. Seeing a plumber on the roof, not necessarily because they're lost.
No, usually not.
It often means they're tackling a clog, and it's the best or maybe the only access point they have in that situation.
Exactly. But it does come with those limitations we talked about: weather, equipment, maybe not a full fix.
And knowing this, understanding why it happens, kind of helps you think about your own home's setup, doesn't it?
It really does. It empowers you to think proactively about your plumbing infrastructure. Maybe check if you have those ground level cleanouts.
Yeah, definitely. And it makes you think. I mean, considering how something as basic as airflow is so critical for your drains, what other parts of our homes, the systems we rely on every day, might be interconnected in ways we don't usually stop to consider?
That's a great question. Makes you wonder what else is linked behind the walls, doesn't it?
Hey folks, it's Jim from Quick. If your plumber's up on the roof, chances are you're overdue for a better solution. Let's talk about adding a proper cleanout so your future drain problems are easier and safer to fix. Call 314-429-7131. Mention this podcast and we'll take $20 off your service. Tell them Jim sent you.